What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Steve Nastatoski here of Mason Brew, and which three defensive players are poised to break out for the Michigan Wolverines football team in 2021? Last week, we looked at the top three offensive players, breakout offensive players, and today it's time for the other side of the ball. Under the new defensive coordinator, mostly new defensive staff, it's kind of a giant question mark across the board. So this was a tough list to put together. A reminder here, breakout players are players that have not yet really been starters or in a big part of the rotation. A few players I think will have a huge impact this year compared to last year that are not eligible for this criteria would be Dax Hill, five-star player. I expect to do big things that maybe didn't have the year a lot of people expected in 2020. G-Man Green, cornerback. He's been a starter, probably number one cornerback this year, but was so last year as well. Then obviously Aiden Hutchinson could do big things in a new role this year, kind of that defensive end, outside linebacker combo position, but he's an established star, already first-round potential kind of guy. So this is more players that we haven't seen a whole lot of, as well as guys I think are going to emerge in a big way. So remember that criteria. Don't yell at me if there's not a name you're expecting. Okay, so honorable mention number one, true freshman Junior Colson. Okay, you could argue this spot should go to Nikai Hill-Green. Hill-Green is going to be another backup at inside linebacker. Second year in the program, might have the advantage over Junior Colson, but I think there are reasons to expect Colson to do big things in 2021. I think he has a real shot at being that first linebacker off the bench for an interior linebacker position. He was number 2 on my list of top 5 immediate impact freshmen. Big reason I think he's going to make an impact is his size. At 6'2", 225, he's going to be bigger than most other linebackers on the roster already, so he'll be able to provide really solid depth there and has the body already to make an impact. I'm excited about his long-term potential. I think it could come in handy this year in certain packages. I think because linebacker is also one of the positions of concern that I had going into this year, that's a big reason why I think Junior Colson could be an important factor because of the lack of depth there. So I think things are aligning in Junior Colson's skill set to get him early playing time. I think this year we could see him emerge. So number 3 on the list, Jordan Whitley. Okay, bit of a risky pick here. Take a look at my episode of Talking Transfers where I went through Whitley's game extensively. 6'1", 350-pound defensive tackle from Oregon State, comes into Ann Arbor with quite a bit of history. 25 years old already, been through 3 universities, position change, ACL injury, a heart tumor. He's been through a lot, all right? And for Michigan, it's a case where Michigan just needs bodies at the nose tackle position, right? In a 3-4, you definitely need some beef at the center of your defensive line, and this dude, Jordan Whitley, definitely can provide that. Depth at nose tackle right now is essentially Mozzie Smith, and that's about it, right? So there's an immediate spot for Whitley to contribute. I think a healthy Whitley will see the field mainly because of that, but I think his skill set is really intriguing as well. Despite his health maybe not being guaranteed and a little bit riskier on that side as well, I expect him to be a day one player mainly because of that lack of depth. But he's a running back initially out of high school who obviously blew up into a defensive tackle in terms of his size. But he has really good footwork. I really like his agility. You can kind of see that coming from his running back skill set just in a defensive tackle's body now. So I think he's going to be a key contributor for this team and really an X factor heading into the 2021 season. All right, number 2 here, DJ Turner. Okay, he was a 3-star defensive back out of IMG Academy, powerhouse school out of Florida, part of the 2019 class. We know cornerback has been a sore spot this past season. Bringing in a new staff, again, I think that's going to do DJ Turner really, really well. I truly do believe it's now or never heading into his 3rd season here. He's gotten mentioned as the guy competing with Vincent Gray for the second cornerback starter on the team. So I think he's going to get a shot. He brings a higher upside in athleticism. He hasn't been able to translate that into game time just yet, but some of his main critiques out of high school was technique. So it's not crazy to expect a couple years to really get his technique up to speed to match that athleticism for him to be a key contributor. So I think having that new staff, specifically new position coaches, means everyone's starting from square one. So it's not like the previous staff has an idea of what the order is. So I think that could help DJ Turner emerge over Vincent Gray as well. So I'm not expecting him to be all conference or anything like that in 2021, but I do think he can establish himself as a solid number 2 cornerback on this team. Okay, real quick before we get to the number one, shout out to members of the channel: Noah, Dylan, Alex, Aaron, Andrew, Sam, Terry, Keno, and Logan. Appreciate you all for becoming members of the channel. If you want exclusive badges, early access, participation in exclusive live streams, being a member is how you get those things. So head over to the channel page, click the join button for the membership options. To those that have, appreciate your support. Okay, moving on to number one here, David Ojabo. All right, 4-star defensive line prospect out of the 2019 class. Highly athletic prospect. Originally from Nigeria, lived in Scotland, and then obviously moved to the States to play high school ball before Michigan got his commitment. So he was actually stuck in Scotland in the summer of 2020. He had visited his family in Scotland at the outset of the pandemic, was unable to return to the States in mid-June due to the international travel ban. Luckily, he was able to get back in mid-July of last year. So keep that in mind, because he's on this list primarily because of his timing now, his position, and the defensive scheme change. The Uche role, Josh Uche role in Don Brown's defense was specifically created for Josh Uche and guys of that skill set. So in a 3-4 defense, the outside linebacker and defensive end combo position is more of a natural fit. There doesn't need to be a position created specifically for a guy of that skill set. It's kind of baked into those linebacker edge type prospects already. So Ojabo has great size already at 6'5", 250 pounds to kind of be that defensive end, outside linebacker role, that rush player. And I think it's one that Ojabo fits extremely well in, arguably better than Hutchinson, who's also going to be in that position this year. So remember, out of high school, Ojabo was a sub-11 second 100-meter dash guy. So that is elite speed, especially at that size. And he only picked up the sport midway through his high school career. So he's incredibly raw out of high school, considering this is his third year out of college with a stunted 2020 due to those aforementioned travel ban. It makes sense that it would take a few years for him to get up to speed and actually realize that potential. And I think this third year now is the time that we start to see him emerge. So add in, like I said, the positional fit, the new staff. I think things are aligning really well for him to do just that. So I expect him to emerge as the primary threat as a pass rusher with that speed, with the athleticism overall. I'm expecting big things out of Ojabo, and I think he deserves the number one spot. So what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. Same list, different order. I'm a crazy. Let me know. Live stream tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. Go more detail into this list. Shout out again to the members of this channel. And please subscribe and like the video if you do like this content. Okay, beyond that, guys, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Stay safe out there. And as always, go blue.